Okay, episode 2 of Kenobi. So normally, if you are familiar with my channel, you know that I'll do a lot of the pictures and graphics and all that stuff for spoiler reviews, but I'm at Star Wars Celebration at the moment, and I am coming to you from the hotel room. So this is what you get. If you're brand new to the channel and you want to check out some more stuff and you want to check out all the Star Wars Celebration coverage, subscribe to the channel. I have John Williams. I put up the full video of him playing the Kenobi theme for the first time, live from the panel. That's up there. A few other things that we had, a couple reactions and reviews and things from the panel. We're doing Sith Council tomorrow. But this is a spoiler review of episode 2. My spoiler review of episode 1 is up. If you missed that one, check it out. Okay, so episode 2. I definitely, out of the 2 episodes, I think episode 1 was better. I think that there's a lot of great stuff in episode 2. And I liked episode 2 a lot. I just think that there are a lot of questions that I had about episode 2 that I hope are answered. And I'm definitely curious about. So start with the first one, as we know this is a spoiler review. The Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor, he looks like he gets killed, which is impossible, right? Because 5 years later, he's alive in Rebels. Did they negate Rebels? Is Rebels not canon anymore? I don't think that's the case, especially with Dave Filoni, obviously. But it was curious. They're going to have to explain it. And then you're going to go, oh, okay, I don't want to say, that doesn't make any sense at all. It's over. It was the last episode, it was finale, and they're like, yeah, he's dead. Then that wouldn't make any sense. But that's not what they're saying. It was definitely, so I'm on the fence with Reva. I keep saying Reva, it's Reva. I'm on the fence. There's some things that I really like about her. The things that I like about her, I like when she does the subtle stuff. Like I said, like when she cut the hand off, just boom, over. Sometimes it's like overcooking the angry stuff, but then there's other times where it's a little bit more, there's layers to her. There's something going on, like when she tells Obi-Wan the fact that Anakin is still alive and that Darth Vader is still alive, and they kind of like just moving just the needle there, turning the needle, knowing that it's going to hurt him. I liked when she did that type of stuff, but it also brings in another question. I'm always when I read the Tarkin book, it seemed like Tarkin knew that Anakin was Vader, but he never really said anything. Thrawn knew it, never really said anything, because it didn't seem like a lot of people knew. Only a few people knew. How does Reva know? Again, this is something that could be explained as far as why this fascination is the question with Reva. She's trying to play favor with the Inquisitor, or with Vader, and the other Inquisitors are calling her out on it. I don't understand why they want her around at all, because she never listens to him. In their face, she never listens to him. She pretends for a second, she's like, yeah, okay, I'll listen, and she doesn't. Every single time so far in both episodes. So I don't understand why they're keeping her around, and obviously they did it too much, and then he gets stabbed. I do think, though, I'll be honest, that one of the things I don't like about this episode is that with the Grand Inquisitor, when he shows up in Rebels, he's terrifying. He seems to get outsmarted, or not, like she's not listening to him. She stabs him. And he's not as scary as he was in the first one now, and I think they diminished him a little bit because of it. But again, I don't know what happens in the next episodes, so I can't say yet. But that's one of the things I didn't like. Another thing that I'm curious about, not that I didn't like it, but I'm curious about, is the fact that Leia is calling. She's calling him Ben, which I do like, because my bigger question is, if she knows that this is Obi-Wan Kenobi, in episode 4, when she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my," she says to him about Organa. She said, "You served my father in the Clone Wars." Well, she could also have mentioned, if she knew who he was, "Hey, remember that time you saved me from all those Inquisitors and the bounty hunters, and I was fallen, and you saved me with the Force? Remember that thing? So can you help me out again?" But if she doesn't know that it's him, and she just thinks it's Ben, then I get that, because that could be any Jedi that was out there, and she didn't put 2 and 2 together, I guess. So that's one of the things she's got to deal with. What I did like, I'll stick with the stuff I didn't like. I'll stick with the stuff I didn't like in this one, and then I'll get into all the stuff that I did like, because there's a lot of stuff that I dug. The Camille stuff that he did I like him in Eternals. I think he works in Eternals, and I think that he works in the second half of this episode. The first half of this episode, it's not necessarily his performance. He's just doing that same thing that he normally does. And if you go to the humor that's in the first episode with the Jawa, that to me is Star Wars humor that works great. When you go to the stuff about when Camila is doing the pretending of the family that he's the Jedi, and the way he's kind of delivering those lines, it's not that he's pretending to be a Jedi. I think that could have worked out good. It was the lines. It seemed like, again, like a character I've seen him play a million times over, and it just seemed a little off-putting in this particular episode. However, that being said, I really liked when he felt that he had done he was doing the family right and made sure that they were safe, and he also felt like his morals were questioned by the Jedi, and he went to help the Jedi out. I like that. I thought that worked out really well. The stuff with Leia, the little girl, I'm just loving in this series so far, and I love that they never promoted her. I love that she just kind of shows up and she's just stealing the episodes, because I believe that she's Leia. It doesn't, and this is the funny thing. And granted, it's a child. It's a child, so it's easier to separate it. But every time I get into those conversations of like the Solo stuff with Alden Ehrenreich, who plays Solo years ago, and I think Alden Ehrenreich is a fantastic actor. I really do. I think he's a great actor. I just never got the nuances and the essence of what I thought Han Solo was. And it's like, oh well, eventually he becomes that. It's always built into who you are, and I think this little girl proves that, because that stuff. This is Leia at 10 years old. All the stuff that makes Leia Leia is still in there. And she's 10 years old. And she hasn't grown into the woman that she's going to be. She hasn't grown into the princess that she's going to be. But it's in there. And this little girl captures that. That's the difference. This is the comparison of the stuff that I always want to kind of now throw at people when it comes to, again, the way that I view particular characters. I believed that was Leia. And I think that there could have been another actress, a 10-year-old actress, or the way that the character maybe was written. Again, I don't want to blame. It's not Alden Ehrenreich's thing. It's the way that this particular character is written, Leia, that I believe everything about it, and the things that she does, that eventually she could lead into the princess and the senator that we know. If you rewrote that, and you could say, it just doesn't feel like her to me. This felt like Leia, and it felt like Leia when she's out there questioning him and throwing a couple jabs at him. Some of the humor that works, again, in Star Wars, when he's like, oh, we're going to tell people that you're my daughter. She's like, maybe granddaughter. Great line, loved it. Thought it was funny. Loved their dynamic on how that worked. And she didn't trust him because she wouldn't show it. He won't connect to the Force, so when he does finally save her in that moment, played out wonderfully. Rex showing up and as a clone, I thought that was Rex. Some people, you can tell me where you think maybe it's just a clone on the run, but to me it seemed like Rex. It got a pretty big ovation in the audience. It might have just been because it was Tamora Morrison, which is also very possible. But I, from the outfit, got that it was Rex, that he had aged and been there. But you guys tell me, was that Rex? Was it not Rex? Felt like it to me. Either way, it set up that entire planet, and staying on that planet, and the fact that Reva is hunting them and really wanting to take them out, and the way that she, again, goes against the Inquisitor, which is funny because part of it, like I said, I don't understand why if they know that she's going to continuously do this, why they keep her around, or why they don't tell Vader. But the stuff that I like is the mission that she's clearly doing this because there's a purpose and there's a reason of whatever it is. She wants to be in the favor of Vader. And I don't know if it ties back into that opening scene of episode 1 of she's one of those younglings. I have no idea. But whatever it turns out that she wants to do, she wants to be, it is driving her to get Obi-Wan to Vader. And they finally get that to that ship after they're instructed, they're told, okay, go, I'm going to help you out, go do it. And there's a great reveal, and this is the thing that I liked a lot, as I said before, when she says, oh, Vader's still around. You didn't know that? And then this shows you the great performance by Ewan MacGregor of just, you see the sadness and the pain overcome him as he realizes that Anakin is still there and is still alive. And I thought it was a tremendous moment. And even the moments where the stuff that he's doing with Leia, when he's like, no, your parents are, they're, excuse me, they're happy that you're, they're happy you're back. They know you're safe. I'm going to take you back. You're good. the stuff with the spice when he throws it down, and Flea and his buddies are basically, look, they're not going to catch Obi-Wan. You think you're going to catch Obi-Wan? You're going to try to catch Obi-Wan, and then he uses the spice against them. So that was a fantastic scene. The stuff with the bounty hunters coming after him, and he goes into the spice thing, and he fights off the Zabrak, and he throws them on the floor. And I loved the moment where he's fighting, and a lot of these shows would just be like, well, yeah, it's Obi-Wan. He's going to kick the piss out of these guys, and he was slow. He moved slow. He hurt his hand. He still beat the piss out of him, but he did it in a way that was not. It wasn't an easy ride. And Flea even said to him, "You're bleeding all over the place," because he said to Bale in the last one, "I've lost a step. I'm not that guy anymore." So he's got to try to learn it again and try to get back on the horse there. And now he's connected back to the Force. And the stuff that everyone's going to talk about at the end here is the shot of Anakin in the tank. And it's terrifying how he is. And it's just like, okay, we've gotten the Inquisitors, and we know that they're scary, but they're, come on, child's play as opposed to what we're going to see. So I think now we're going to kick Hayden Christensen and Vader into gear here as we get into episode 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think Vader's going to start to show up maybe a little bit more in 3. I think 4 and 5 he'll be kind of heavily featured, and then we'll see what happens in 6. But yeah, this is this episode. Like I said, I like the first one a lot because I thought the first one established a lot, and the tone and the despair and the tone. And I think this one was a little more fluffy, had a little bit more of the light humor. The light humor stuff that I liked, like I said, was the stuff with Leia and Obi-Wan. There was a couple. I would say if I'm going to rate the first episode, I probably rated it like probably a 9 out of 10, and this one I'm like a 7.8, 7, so close to it, yeah, something like that. Because, like I said, there were just a few things, and I have questions, but those questions could be answered with future episodes. So, overall, I think the two standouts are for the entire series are young Leia and Obi-Wan. Those are the two, and Jimmy Smits was great in the first episode. But those are my favorites so far. What about you guys? Are you enjoying it? Do you like it? Do you like episode 1? Do you like episode 2? What do we think we're going to get from episode 3? Did the Vader back to tank get you going? I want to read these comments. I want to hear what you think, and make sure you subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do it. Make sure you check out that John Williams video. It's almost like 200,000 views already. I put that thing up today. Hey! So, okay. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to get some more coverage out to you and get some more Sith Council. We have a full Sith Council with myself and Mike and Steph, who will be talking about Obi-Wan's episodes 1 and 2 and a lot of the panel stuff that we saw. So make sure you check that out. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Click like. Cool.